Hello everyone, and welcome to this lesson on integrating the QiSDK with Android Studio to program the Pepper robot. In this lesson, we'll cover the basics of setting up your development environment and creating your first robot application. Part 1. Overview of QiSDK and Pepper robot. The foundation for developing Pepper robot apps is the QiSDK software development plugin. Pepper robot applications, in contrast to regular Android apps, need to interface with both ROS, robot operating systems, and Android. Due to its dual OS configuration, Pepper is able to carry out activities like walking, dancing, and environment mapping that are not possible for standard Android applications. Part 2. Setting up your development environment. To start developing for the Pepper robots, follow these steps. Number 1. Install Android Studio. Make sure you have installed the Flamingo 2022.2.1 Patch 2 version of Android Studio. This can be done using the JetBrains Toolbox application. Number 2. Set up plugins. After installing Android Studio, you'll need to add the Pepper SDK plugin. If it's not available directly, download it from the JetBrains plugin site and install it manually. Number 3. Create a new project. Start a new project in Android Studio and select Empty Views Activity as your template. Use Java or Kotlin as your programming language and make sure your project is set up for the Marshmallow version of Android, which is the most stable for Pepper's tablet. Part 3. Developing your first robot application. Once your environment is set up, you can start developing your robot application. Number 1. Create the project. After setting up your new project, integrate the QiSDK by adding necessary dependencies and configurations in your Gradle scripts. Number 2. Add the robot lifecycle. Implement the robot lifecycle callbacks interface in your main activity. This interface manages the robot's focus and lifecycle, ensuring that your actions are executed in the correct sequence. Part 4. Running actions on Pepper. With the lifecycle in place, you can now create and run actions on Pepper. Actions can be synchronous or asynchronous. Synchronous actions. These actions run sequentially, for example, making Pepper speak. Asynchronous actions. These actions can run in parallel, allowing for more complex behaviors. For example, making Pepper speak while performing an animation. Error handling. Always handle potential errors using try-catch blocks to ensure smooth executions of actions. In conclusion for this lesson, we've covered the essential steps to integrate the QiSDK with Android Studio and develop your first robot application for Pepper. By setting up the development environment, implementing the robot lifecycle, and executing actions, you're now ready to start creating interactive and dynamic applications for Pepper. Thank you for attending this session and have fun coding!